Gap 2s. In the vast, sun-scorched landscapes of southern Zimbabwe, a quiet but profound crisis is unfolding. The districts of Matabeleland South, Gwanda, Matobo, Bulilima Mangwe are grappling with a climate that has grown harsher, more unpredictable. Heat waves arrive with greater intensity and linger longer, baking the earth until it cracks. The rains, once a reliable partner in the cycle of life, have become erratic and cruel. They fail to arrive, ushering in long, desperate dry spells. Or they descend in furious, soil-shattering deluges, washing away hope and topsoil. This relentless environmental pressure is slowly strangling the region's lifeblood, cattle ranching. For generations, cattle have been more than just livestock here. A symbol of wealth, a cultural touchstone, the primary economic engine for countless families. But these animals, so central to the identity of the region, are struggling to survive. The foundation of their livelihood is eroding beneath their feet, and abandoning a way of life passed down through generations is becoming a painful, looming reality for many. The question is no longer just how to save the cattle, but how to save the ranching communities themselves. Amid this growing despair, a search for alternatives has begun. Farmers and community leaders are looking for a new plan, a resilient strategy that can withstand the punishing realities of this altered climate. They need an animal that is not just a substitute for cattle, but an improvement, one that is purpose-built for the arid conditions that now define their home. This search for a lifeline is leading them to consider an unlikely but powerful ally. The solution may not be found in breeding hardier cows, but in an animal that has thrived in the world's most unforgiving deserts for millennia. Gaining traction from village meetings to agricultural policy forums, the idea is simple: the camel. Often associated with Arabian deserts or the Sahara, camels possess biological adaptations that make them uniquely suited to these challenges. Born of heat and scarcity, camels don't just endure drought, they prosper in it. Introducing camels isn't about replacing a culture, but preserving it by adapting. A pragmatic pivot that could offer a future for pastoralism, where the present looks bleak. Unlike cattle, which require vast quantities of water daily, camels are masters of water conservation. Their unique physiological systems allow them to go for extended periods, sometimes up to 15 days, without drinking a single drop. Even more impressively, they can continue to produce nutritious milk for their young and for human consumption during these long, dry intervals. This decoupling of milk production from constant water intake makes them a reliable source of sustenance when all else fails. Furthermore, a camel's dietary habits make it a perfect companion for degraded rangelands. Where cattle are selective grazers, often requiring lush grasses that vanish in drought, camels are opportunistic browsers. They happily consume thorny bushes, dry grasses, tough, saline plants. This reduces competition for scarce resources and helps preserve remaining vegetation. A camel can lose up to a third of its body weight and still survive, a feat that would be fatal for cattle. In some semi-arid regions, one camel produces more annual milk than a cow on the same land. This consistent supply is a critical nutritional safety net for families, ensuring children get protein and vitamins when other foods are scarce. Exceptional water efficiency, a broad, non-competitive diet, and consistent milk production in harsh conditions position the camel not just as an alternative, but as a superior choice for today's climate realities. It is not just an animal that survives, it is an animal that provides. For farmers of Matabeleland South who watch cattle succumb to heat and thirst, the camel represents a shift from vulnerability to robust resilience. It offers a way to continue a pastoralist lifestyle, not by fighting the environment, but by working in harmony with it. We do not have to look far for a powerful, real-world example of this transformative potential. Across the continent, in the arid lands of northern Kenya, pastoralist communities have faced a similar, if not more severe, climate crisis. Semi-arid lands of northern Kenya. The results have been nothing short of revolutionary, offering a tangible blueprint for what could be achieved in Zimbabwe. The change has been so profound that it has reshaped the economy and the culture of these communities. The evidence is not just anecdotal, it is woven into the fabric of daily life and language.
One Kenyan herder, when asked about the shift, put it with stark simplicity. We no longer have cattle at home.
We only raise camels. This single, powerful sentence speaks volumes, capturing a complete transformation in livelihood strategy. It is not a story of a few experimental farmers, but of entire communities making a collective decision to adapt in order to survive and thrive. This change was not driven by government mandate or NGO persuasion alone, but by the undeniable, observable fact that during the worst droughts, the camels lived while the cattle perished. The economic logic of this transition is starkly visible in the local livestock markets. In Kenya, the value of these animals has inverted. A cow, once the ultimate measure of wealth, might now sell for as little as $150 during a prolonged dry spell, its value plummeting as its health deteriorates. In contrast, a healthy young camel, which retains its condition far better, can command a price of $600 or more. This significant price gap demonstrates a clear market recognition of resilience. This Kenyan success story serves as a crucial proof of concept for Zimbabwean ranchers. It dispels the notion that embracing camels is a fringe or untested idea. It shows that the transition is not only possible, but also profitable and sustainable. The journey of the Kenyan herders provides a roadmap, highlighting the challenges they faced and the immense benefits they reaped. It proves that a pastoralist economy can be rebuilt around a more climate-appropriate animal, securing livelihoods for generations to come. For Zimbabwe, Kenya's experience is not a distant tale, it is a clear and hopeful precedent. The introduction of camels to southern Zimbabwe offers more than just a defensive strategy against drought. It presents a significant and untapped economic opportunity. The immediate financial benefit lies in the animal's intrinsic value, as demonstrated in markets like Kenya's. By investing in camels, ranchers are acquiring an asset that is far more resilient to the economic shocks caused by climate change. While the price of cattle can crash during a drought as desperate farmers flood the market with weakened animals, the price of camels remains stable or even increases due to their proven survivability. A rancher with a herd of camels possesses a more secure and dependable form of wealth. Beyond the value of the live animal, a burgeoning global market for camel products, particularly milk, is creating new avenues for profit. This rapid growth is being fueled by a rising consumer interest in health-conscious and alternative foods. Camel milk is celebrated for its unique nutritional profile, lower in lactose, rich in vitamins believed to have various therapeutic properties. Zimbabwean farmers and entrepreneurs are perfectly positioned to enter this market on the ground floor. Establishing a local camel dairy industry could create a new economic ecosystem in Matabeleland South. A breeder, a cooperative could supply fresh milk to local towns and cities, catering to a niche but growing domestic demand. With the right processing and packaging infrastructure, there is a clear potential to export camel milk products, powder cheese to regional and international markets. This would inject new income streams directly into rural communities, creating jobs in farming, processing, transportation. It transforms the camel from a mere survival tool into the cornerstone of a new, climate-resilient agricultural enterprise. Furthermore, camels can be integrated into national food security and climate adaptation programs. Governments and non-governmental organizations are constantly seeking effective ways to support communities impacted by climate change. In several East African nations, institutional programs have successfully distributed camels to families who have lost their cattle, providing them with a sustainable livelihood. Similar initiatives in Zimbabwe could create a reliable, large-scale buyer for camel breeders. This institutional demand would not only support smallholder farmers, but also help establish camels as a key component of the nation's official strategy to build a more resilient agricultural sector. Despite the immense potential, the transition to camel ranching cannot be a simple matter of importing animals and hoping for the best. Success hinges on addressing one critical challenge: the knowledge gap. Camels are a new frontier for most Zimbabwean veterinarians, agricultural extension officers, the farmers themselves. Their physiology, common ailments, and husbandry needs are distinctly different from those of cattle. A camel cannot be managed like a cow. The first step is to invest in training. Develop and deliver practical workshops for herders on the ground, daily handling and feeding, recognizing signs of illness, proper milking practices. Upskill Zimbabwe's veterinary professionals. Partner with experts from countries with established camel economies, like Kenya or Sudan. Create a cohort of local vets confident in camel care. Link farmers to this network of trained professionals. This support system will be the bedrock that makes the entire endeavor sustainable. For the small-scale farmers of Gwanda and Matobo, the camel is a form of drought insurance. For commercial ranchers, it represents a shrewder business model. For the Zimbabwean government and its NGO partners, the camel is a powerful and practical tool for climate adaptation. And for forward-thinking investors, this represents a first-mover advantage. The strategy should be to start small. Pilot programs that demonstrate success, train a core group of people, and build vital links between producers and buyers. The climate is not waiting, and the challenges facing southern Zimbabwe's pastoralists are growing more acute each year. Camels will not solve every problem, but they are uniquely matched to the specific environmental pressures of the region. They survive heat. They conserve water. They produce milk when cows cannot. They hold their value in times of crisis. With a concerted effort focused on training, veterinary support, and market development, camels can help the people of Matabeleland South not just survive the changing climate, but build a more prosperous and secure future upon it. This is a call to farmers, ranchers, policymakers, and investors to embrace this resilient animal. Camels make sense for Zimbabwe, and they make sense now.